Well, we have a bit of a treat today, an early Christmas gift from the Broken Arrow team. We've got a few new in-game images, or what appear to be in-game at least. And this is in preparation, I suspect, for the 14th of December when we should be getting our first gameplay reveal of the game. Let's take a look at these images, and I'll also run through a couple of images that are on Steam as well now. I'm not sure if all of them are new, but none of them look familiar to me, so I think these are new images that have got uploaded with these other 5. So without wasting any more time, let's have a look at the images. So first we have this one, which is mainly showing off the 2 aircraft. Obviously here we're seeing very detailed aircraft, if nothing else. I mean, they are very nice models. You can even see possibly inside the cockpit there, especially in the one that's further in front. You can see it's got like a little screen inside and stuff. And then in the background, the nice thing we can also see is the landscape. The maps are what make or break these games sometimes. You know, you want a map that looks nice and is interactive, and, you know, in Wargaming you want it to be able to go into buildings and things, and that should be a similar thing here. So we can jump to the second image, which is of that exact town. And you can see the amount of detail. Look at the building detail. They've even put cars parked in little parking spaces. Yes, there's a bit of copy and paste there, but, you know, they're going to be putting a lot of vehicles on each map, so I'm not surprised by that. But I like the variety of the buildings. I like the fact that they look like real housing. And then what else can we see on this image? Obviously we have lots of explosions. The only thing I can't decide to myself at the moment is if those are real explosions or if they have been edited in after the fact. I'm not sure. They look a little bit like they were put in after the fact, but again, this is a snapshot of a video game, so it could just be that's how it looked in that moment in time. However, what we are seeing is starting at the right hand side. We've got 2 Chinooks parked up. We have 3 APCs of some description, strikers or something like that, and then we have a bunch of troops running along the ground in front of them. The troops are tiny, but they're relative in size to the building, so it kind of makes sense. They look really good. There's at least probably 2 squads there, minimum. And then we have Ospreys flying over the top, and we have some wisps of smoke coming down, and either those are from bombs or missiles or artillery, or it could even be a plane crashing. Then, over on the left-hand side, are the Russian military forces coming in. So we have what look like a couple of APCs, then possibly a couple of tanks. They're a little bit darker. I don't know what kind of tank. I don't suppose they're Armatas. They look a bit small. And then behind that we're seeing what I assume is a Tunguska or something similar. It just looks bigger and bulkier, like it would be carrying missiles. And then right in front of the explosion at that side, I can just see that little vehicle that's coming through the explosion. That again looks like a small APC or some kind of buggy. And that's, you know, again, it's a very nice image. We're seeing lots of nice different buildings in the background as well. It's nice to see that they've put a bit of effort into the map. Now, moving on to our next image. So here we have the Armata. This is one of the newer Russian tanks, the T-14 Armata. There's quite a few of them there. Possibly also some T-72s, I can't quite decide. But certainly this one right at the front is an Armata. There's some Hookums up there of some description. Lots of explosions. That chopper has certainly fired flares before it's gone down. You can see all the wisps. Now again, I don't know if some of these have been added afterwards, like the wisps of the flares. I can't quite decide. It could be just a snapshot, or it could be that it's been edited afterwards. I'm not sure. But, you know, nice scene either way. Nice landscape, like the trees. But another nice image. We're seeing a few units there at least. Moving on, we're seeing the M1A1 FEP a bit more up close. We're seeing its cost at 350 points. So points are going to be different here than they are in Wargame. Obviously things are going to cost more. And what else can we see? We can see that this has an armor package if we look down at the bottom of the screen there. We can see that there are various units to choose from. We can see a few more M1A1HC and M1A2 SEP V2, Bradley's, Bradley BEV, an M60A3 era, Strikers, there's quite a few strikers, so yeah, not shocked at that at all. APAV for amphibious assaults. Obviously a Humvee with a tow or a machine gun. And we've got some labs there as well. Nice little selection there. And interestingly, you'll note that this is on the vehicle tab of all things. So we've got recon, infantry, vehicles, support, logistics, helicopters and air. So instead of having a tank tab, as we do in Wargame for example, we just have a vehicle tab, and that is obviously going to include tanks as well. So all of our heavy armor will be under vehicles. And if we go to the right hand side, we can see some of the details of that tank. Now what we can see here is what I didn't realize at first is actually probably the armor. The front armor being 750 kinetic, 1100 heat. Then the top armor being 50 of each, the back armor being 150 of each, and the bottom armor being 230 kinetic and 370 heat. I take it that's for protection against mines. We've got a health symbol on a shield there with 12, perhaps how many hit points it has. I assume the next one is its speed, 67. Then we've got a pair of binoculars, which I guess range maybe. And then we've got, I don't know if that's scouting or something with a 1 in it. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's sort of an eye with a line through it. And then we've got its weight. That's your cannon. And then this is the details of the cannon. We're not seeing any details of the machine guns there. This is just the cannon. So the cannon has an aim time of 2-3 seconds, shots per burst, time between bursts, reload time, stabilizer quality, auto reload, no. It's an American tank, so no surprise there. Trajectory type, direct shot, target types vehicles. So this is our armor piercing round, kinetic, and this is our heat round, which is for ground infantry and vehicle. Okay, fine. So you'll be able to switch which ammo type it is using by the looks of it. Let's look at the next image. So here we go. This is on our reconnaissance tab. Recon, we've got cavalry scouts, force recon. The Humvee, we are, weirdly, it's not actually highlighted here, but I believe this is a Humvee. It's the GMV, it does say up there. So it's just not highlighted, but that is the Humvee. But this one is 30 points, whereas that's only 15. I assume that's just not finalised. We can see some work in progress things there. Navy SEALs, Rangers, Ranger Snipers, Scout Snipers, Strikers, Bradleys. We've got everything we would expect there, I suppose, from Wargaming and the like as well. And then over on the details tab, we can see that all around the vehicle is 5 in terms of its armor then. Down here we can see the weapon it's got is an M23 OLF. We can see some of the details of it there, including the 30mm round that it holds. Direct shot ground infantry vehicle helicopter, range 1980 meters. And then we have a capacity of 6. So I assume that even though it's a recon and doesn't necessarily have anyone inside it currently, it can transport infantry. But obviously is limited in the number of troops it can carry. So if your squad is 10, then I assume they won't all fit in there. Next we have a few new images from Steam. And I think these are new. I haven't saved them before in my folders, so definitely not something I've noticed on there until just now. So first we have this, which is showing one of the M1s of some description firing 3 of them in a row. Again, I don't know if those explosions have been added after the fact. Then moving on, we're seeing some MRLS of some description. They're not grads, they're something more advanced, but I couldn't tell you from here if they're American or Russian. My knowledge isn't good enough off the top of my head. Next image, we're seeing a huge amount of Russian forces, a few different choppers there. We're seeing various tanks. I think we're certainly seeing some Armatas there, possibly some older ones like T-80s or T-90s. And then in the background we can see lots of infantry. I'm seeing MRLS launchers. I'm seeing probably anti-air units, possibly Tunguskas. We're also seeing further to the right hand side anti-air missile launch systems that they use now, and a few other bits and pieces in the background that I couldn't tell you what all of them are. There's certainly some APCs there. Next, we just have a shot of the Armata tanks from the front, I believe, showing various different armor packages. Then we actually have the little sheet for the T14 Armata. And then a second sort of design spec sheet, really nicely designed models. And then we have the AC-130U Spooky, this one's called. You can see its cannons and what looks like a Vulcan cannon or a minigun there at the front. I hope you can control that if it's in the game and it's not just a call-in. And then we can see the AC-130J Ghostrider, which is a different variant, I assume, or they've changed the name. Certainly got a different cannon on the front there. And then we have the M1A1 FEP design spec sheet, I assume. And again, the M1A1 FEP. Look at the detail on that tank there. It's very nice. And that's all the images for the moment. Do check them out on either the Steam page or join their official Discord. I will leave links down below. And you can also join my Discord if you would like to chat about the game. As always, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all on the 14th of December at the Slitherine Wargaming event, where hopefully we will be getting our first glimpses of gameplay footage.